Hi. Hello, everyone. It is painting time. I had this up here to focus the camera. I think I'm getting hiccups because I just felt one. Dang it. I always get hiccups. Yep. Hopefully they go away. Anyway, hi everyone. Yamadorgan says, how are you today? I'm doing well. I slept 8 hours last night, which is not what's been happening normally for me. And the night before I got like 3. So that was an improvement. How many pages of the sketchbook do I have left? 2. Wow. It's weird when you finish a sketchbook, you know? It's wild. Three bad, 8 good. I gotta open this canvas for the next painting. Yeah, my sleep's been off, appetite's been a bit weird. Today's better though. After breakfast stream, I laid in bed for like an hour. Tried to sleep. Oh wow, Kita. Kita says at the end of breakfast stream our tornado sirens went off. It's been a wild weather day so far. We had a watch yesterday, but we did not have a warning. This is my last 8x10 canvas, and I ordered some and they shipped today. So I should have another one when I finish this painting to start the 3rd one. PK Daisy says our office lost power, so I'm working from home now. Ooh, I'm sorry. Well, that tightened up one of these corners. Can we tighten up the other ones doing that? Maybe? Ooh, that worked much better. There. Alright, today we're going to continue our time of day series where I recreate college drawings I did, because there was a set of 3. And we did this one, and that painting is over there. I showed it off last night on stream. But I don't want to put the painting over here in case I get paint on it from doing this one today. But what we need to do is we need to start by voting on which one I'm going to do today, because I have 2 left, and I don't really care which one I do first, so I thought we would vote on it. So we have the sunrise piece and the daytime piece. So whatever mod won the food fight, I think I saw that someone said Renee did. Renee did message me, and I don't know when Renee is getting here today, so someone else might have to do it. Fossix can have the honor? Alright. Fossix, if you want to make a poll for day versus sunrise. I'm going to put this one away. And I'm going to work on spraying this palette down, because it is full of paint from the last painting. What are the paintings again? I should probably hold them up. That would make sense. We have sunrise painting, which is this one. And daytime painting, which is this one. So it's between these 2. And I can't put them up together because they are paper. So that will have to be what I do. And like I said, I will be doing both. I just don't particularly care which one I do first. What paint? Twitch. That. Let's do this. There. Because then I don't have to go click over to that. A poll has begun. What paint? Alien Soup says, I've been to a beach that looks super close to these. These are all based on photos I took in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Somewhere I have the actual photograph of this. But that would take a while to find on my files because it would have been 2009. That explains why it looks familiar. Yeah. I know exactly where this one got taken. Like, which beach access it is. The sunrise one I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure because we basically always went to like the same ones. Sunrise one. I knew it. All right. Let's close that. Double check that. Accidentally screenshot my phone, which was a mistake. All right, we were doing the sunrise one first. Put that somewhere safe. All right, we're gonna do this one. I need to pin this one to the wall. Dang it. How tacked on is this? Ooh, not very. Nice. It's fine. It is not destroyed. Chalk pastel, why do you have to be so difficult? It doesn't want to stand up either. That's what I want it to do. Now, where did I put those pins? There they are. Now, this was a pain the other day when I tried to do this. So there's one side. Dang it, I dropped the pin. I have more pins. they are just here. What I should have done is just preemptively done this. Perfect. We're gonna do this one. All right. So this one has a horizon line that is not perfectly level. And again, we're gonna do what we did where we paint the sky and then paint all the ground. And I probably will change up a little bit about this transition. Like there's things I liked, like I remember really liking this here, but I think this transition between the two needs to be a little bit different. So I need to figure out where this goes, and half is right about here, and this is half here. So this is half. It's a little down from half. I could measure this. That would be the better idea. $22.5, so that's 11.25. Yeah, so this is basically at half, and then this is a little bit below. I think I need to move this up just a little. Maybe more like there. Can you see the chalk I drew? A little bit? All right, we have a lot of colors to make for this sky. Barely, yeah. It's mostly for me. So let's see, we have white here, because I didn't get too much green in that. We need to go down into yellow. Let's see, we need our primaries, yellow, blue, and red. And then we get into some violets and pinks in here. A little bit of violet up here. We literally have everything for this. In fact, I need this so I can look at it over here. So I'm not turning back and forth all the time. Soccer Guy says, I'm so excited for this one. This one is fun. Like, it has a bunch of the colors. It's at a neat angle. All right, titanium whites. Need to find all my primaries. MCL Blue says, I can't hear titanium white without hearing Bob Ross going titanium white in my head. I remember watching a video on developing photography, like film and prints, and the guy talking about the darkroom in the video said "warsh," and to a bunch of Wisconsin high school students, it was just the peak of comedy. Because we had never heard someone talk like that before. The teacher for that class was great. Alright, so I'm going to start by mixing up light blue. And I should put... yeah. Extend the open time of these paints because I'm going to do a lot of mixing, but also we need to do a lot of blending. And if I had really thought ahead, I would have grabbed the open titanium white, this guy, because this stays wet longer, and used this in place of the not open version because this dries faster. Vagabond says, anytime you say carbon black, sirens go off in my head because that's the antivirus we use at work. There's a painter I follow on Instagram who goes by the name... are they going by Mars Black? Is that their Instagram handle? Some of their stuff is a little not safe for work, but I find it all very good. Alright, I am mixing up light blue. I need to be able to wipe my palette knife off. So all of my primary colors that I've put on the palette, I put some of golden additive for retarder, which slows the drying time. The working time. So I've added that to all like the main puddles of color I have here. And I mix that in as I'm working on mixing these colors. So there's a little bit in everything. So everything stays workable longer. And I have a habit, and it's a bad habit, that I try to work on all the time and tell myself I'm not going to do, but then I go into anyway, of making everything too saturated. So I'm going to really try and compare these colors to the drawing. I'm pretty sure the drawing is more saturated than the photograph ever was. Okay, that could be a little bit darker. Just a little bit though. Are we talking about plein air work, Gold Mage Soccer Guy? I've never done plein air work, where you go and paint out in the world. I've wanted to. I think it would be fun. But it would require a lot of planning. Okay, that's pretty good. So we have that. Yeah, at a beach. Yeah, I've never done it actually at a location. But I have had the thought of doing that. Maybe when it's cooler in Raleigh, I'll go do that somewhere. I have an idea of where I would want to do it to. There's not many beaches around Raleigh I can go do that at. I mean, we have a lot of lakes and rivers. And there are 4 beaches, but not like ocean beaches like what I'm working on right now. Imagine a stream with Mal painting at a park/beach. That would be something. That would be. Was Myrtle Beach bad for that kind of thing, or just never happened? It just never happened. Fossick says Wilmington Beach. Is that the closest one? Carolina Beach or Kur? Is it Kur? K-U-R-E? I know how it's spelled. Those might be our closest ones, and they're not that close. What am I doing? Purplish color. Fossick says, I think they're the closest, 2 hours from Raleigh. So, actually, when Kahlo was going on, when we did the pods, where we were all kind of in different locations, that year for Coliseum, my sister was actually in Wilmington beaches, like Carolina Beach, Wilmington Beach, when I was doing that. And I wanted to go see her, but it was, because it was closer when we lived there. She had been in Raleigh with Kyle and his family to see a hockey game, because Kyle's cousin was on the Canes. And they had gone to Raleigh for that, and then they spent a day, they drove out to the beaches and were there, but I was busy with Coliseum. And I was like, if this had been any other weekend. And then, you know, a few months later, we moved here. Alright, I'm trying to make a blue-violet color, where it's still pretty blue. I've always wanted to go out to Ocracoke Island in North Carolina. I want to go in January or February during a new moon, because it is dark sky area, and that's the best time to see the Milky Way. So I want to do that. Once I'm done mixing all these colors, I'll show them off, but right now it's just a lot of mixing because I have so much sky color to make. And right now I'm making the violet that's at the top corners. And I think it might be too blue. But I had just enough time after my nap today to have a snack of hummus and non-dippers and one of the sandwich cookies that Brandon made yesterday. This is close. And I keep running out of the darker purple I'm mixing to mix into the light purple I have, so I have to keep making up more. But that's okay, because I can make little adjustments. Like, I think it's a little too blue still. I'm trying to make it slightly warmer. Because it's going to mix with the light blue I made. Keita says, I've been snacking on hummus and pita chips or veggies recently. It's the right season. Yeah, I thought about cutting up some of the radishes I've gotten from the garden lately, but I didn't have time for that. All right, that's good. We will go with that. And I'll swatch these on my sketchbook, and let me pull the sketchbook out so I remember to do so. You can go live here for now. So we have light blue, I could have put these in the sketchbook in the order that they're going. I'll do that instead. So we have our purple, which is the top corners, and then we have light blue, and then we will have white, which you probably won't see in the sketchbook too well, but it's there. And then we move into yellow. New sketchbook? Nope, this is the old one. I just got 2 pages left. This page, and then 2 more. Do I have backup sketchbooks? I have 1. We will enter the era of a new sketchbook, a momentous occasion. It really is. And then a new sketchbook is anxiety-inducing because it's a new sketchbook. Anything's possible. You might ruin it. You don't want to ruin it, but that's its purpose. They're pretty good with that yellow on the first try. Radio Dread says, right? Yeah. Alright, let's go put the yellow over there on the palette. And then now we mix up orange. Keita says, I'm the same way with new sketchbooks and journals. Yeah, this is my last year in my 5-year journal. I will start a new 5-year journal in January, and I'm nervous about it. But like, the old one is the yellow a tiny bit green. It shouldn't be. It might have a little bit, but there's a little bit here because we're going to go between blue to yellow with a little bit of white in between, so we will get a little bit of that regardless. But yeah, now that I'm getting near the end of my 5-year journal, I'm protective of that thing. Like, halfway through, I was like, oh yeah, this thing, I've had it a while and I'm not worried about it. But now that I'm near the end of it, I'm also worried about it because I've spent 5 years writing in it. I did not bring it to Japan. I just wrote on my phone in Japan because I was worried that I would take the whole thing there and then somehow lose it. Which was kind of sad because like there's so many stamps in Japan that you can get. But I took my week's journal to Japan and got stamps in that. That was a lot bigger of a swatch, but it's fine. All right, now we need to mix red. Fossick says, can confirm, I have a book specifically for stamps. It's about half full. And Dream says, I have a cousin and I love it. I love the cousin. If I only used one, I would probably stick with the 5-year, just because I really love the 5-year. But after that, I think the Weeks is my favorite. I just really like the layout of the Weeks, and it's really convenient for how I do things. Like when I'm just keeping track of like what I'm up to for like what I have to get done on a weekly basis. It's a nice snapshot of the week. And he says, it's a record of life. Do you ever look back at previous journal entries to see what you experienced? Well, that's why I like the 5-year, because I can look back what I did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and see what I was doing. And it was kind of weird. Over the winter, I was like, oh, there was a thing that happened a year ago, and it was a really memorable thing that happened on a game night, on a Saturday night with my friends, and I couldn't remember exactly when it happened, and I was like, I'm feeling like it was about a year ago, so I just paged a few pages forward in my 5-year, and there it was. So that was fun. I'm a little behind in my 5-year, actually. I haven't fully moved all of my Japan entries into it, and right now I'm a few days behind. I actually have some work to do on that, but I've been busy. That is nowhere near where I need it to be. I've mixed up all this pink, and this really isn't pink. So what I'm gonna do is take red and add a little bit of white to that. And I think I'm way happier with that color. More red. Yes. And there got to be a little bit of purple in this, but honestly that's fine because we move into purple next. So I'm not super concerned about that. I do need more red on my palette though. Too dark, but I knew that was going to happen. The reason I'm swatching all of these because these colors get repeated down in the water, and they're not exactly the same, but I do want to know what they are so I can reference it. I think you need to be more blue at this point. Okay. Goldmage says, do you and Steven ever work on your different journals, the vlog and the TED show together, co-work style? I might go back through a vlog episode, like if I'm trying to catch up on something, like the Japan trip, just to see if I forgot something. Because I know there's actually 2 days for Japan I hadn't written, 2 of the last days, so when the vlog comes out, that's when I'll probably write those. More whites. And I have a pretty good memory. I also have like my photos I can look through. So I'm not super worried about it. I'm also going to be the person that Steven asks about what was happening and where we were. The names of the thing we were doing. Like, where was this? Oh, well this was the Costco in Kawasaki. More blue. I mean, he'll be asking individual people. He'll be like, Chaz, what did you do here in this footage? Because I wasn't with you and I don't know. That's better. Okay. We have all of our sky colors now. Exciting. Let's swatch this one. Fossix, that probably would have been the smart thing for us to do, the Costco in Chiba next time. It's a 2-minute walk from a train station. Yeah, the one we went to was a bit difficult, but it was closer to where we were staying. Cool. All right. I need the best paintbrush for this one. And I'm also going to do a few additional helpful things. I need water conditioner. This has a name, but as you can see, I no longer remember what this name is. I just know it's a water conditioner. And you just add a couple drops to your water. So I just added 3. I've had this literally since like 2016. And then if I get my brush wet with it, it helps the paint go on smoother. And I don't want to leave my brush soaking wet because you don't want to mix water into your paints for acrylic, but just a little bit on the damp brush, because I just tapped it off on a paper towel, is enough. That's all I need. And we're gonna start with titanium white here. And we might work our way down into this first. Wash the brush, put some more white down, and then work our way up that way. So that's kind of the arch that I have to work with. And I am going to like feather this upwards into where the blue will be, because that will help me later. And then we're going to go into yellow. And then into orange. Where's this little V shape? Oops, that was a mistake. That's fine. We'll deal with that later. Half. My first goal is to get the blending of this right. The transition between the colors, and then work downwards into it. Now into the pink. And then, what comes after that? The blue? And this is my line, so. That looks pretty good. Happy with that. Hi, Jiggy. I'm recreating college artwork. I drew this in college, and now I'm painting it. All right, we're gonna wash this brush off, switch to a clean one, and then work upwards on our sky. And then this one can dry out just a little bit, and then we'll use that to paint the sides. All right, we're gonna start back with titanium white and basically paint back up here with it, just to make sure that this is wet when I start to put the light blue down. Can't believe MalMakes is rebooting MalMakes art. A little bit. All right, so we have our light blue up here, and now I need to blend this down. And I don't want there to be a ton of white paint gap here, but I don't want it to go green. I need a clean brush. It's a little bit bigger. I think I made it closer together in the drawing. That's better, but I think this is prettier on the painting. So I'm going to leave it. And then the final little color is a little bit of this purple color. This song. It has to come up every stream, doesn't it? Vagabond says it's the best song. Radio Dread says, I don't necessarily agree, but people can have opinions. I'm trying to clear up the top of this, right where it wraps on the canvas. I'm not happy about it. That's better. There, this guy's done. Now I have to do the edges of the canvas. Because it's the easiest to do right now. Do we have some kind of counter? That would be great. The off-key recorders really sell the song. They do. All right, I have this color on this brush, but that's not what I should do. I should start with a fresh brush. It gives the song character. Hi, Bardic Puppy. Go back and watch all the VODs to count. Not gonna be something I do. All right, clean brushes. Time to paint the sides of this canvas. And I have to do these kind of at the same time because otherwise I have to get brush clean again. And while I'm sitting here, I'm just going to do this. That's probably going to take a few layers to cover up that little bit. And white. I mean yellow. Good catch. That's Mal politely saying, you do it. I mean, if someone wants to, that is on them. I am not doing it. And back to orange. I'm just gonna do this right here. I'll have to show it later. Changing how I do this. Changed my mind how it should look on the sides, so I'm doing that. Yeah, that's better. And switching brushes again, because I need to switch back to yellow. And then finally we'll get into the blue. Sometimes these gradients are a little frustrating and a little nerve-wracking. Especially when there's so many colors. That's a pain. Okay, that looks pretty good. Wrapping there. Probably just a little bit more from up here though. And we'll switch to the other side. And then I just have the top of this to get done, so. All right. That part wrapped pretty good. Need fresh paper towel. Because there's a little bit of this I do want to touch up right here. Okay, now I just need to wrap the purples on the sides here. And I've been slowly working my way through my 3 Goods flat brushes. So I need to switch to the Not Good flat brush. Put a little bit more of the red down. I don't remember exactly where this horizon line sits, so I'm just going to bring this down a little bit, just in case. There we go. Very happy with that sky. It was kind of a pain, but very happy with it. And while I have all those colors, I'm going to do a gradient on Sketchbook. Not just this little swatch one, but like a blended one, because I still have all this paint and it's going to go to waste otherwise. Shoot. When that happens, I just put some paint on the end of a brush and shove it back in there, because it'll kind of work like a glue. This is a very old brush, can you tell? Like the paint's all chipped off it, all the purple from the handle. I can also make this gradient as big as I want it to. This is a very soft brush. It's a really pretty gradient. Like all the colors. I'm very happy with that. I need a new flat brush. Do I have a smaller one? I do. There's a little bit of purple on that white. Oops. There's our sky gradient. Very pretty. Now I have a ton of extra paints that is going to go to waste. So what I need to do is I need plastic. Am I out of plastic? We'll use this. It's about time to switch this anyway. And cover up the primary colors because those are still fine and good. And I don't need them anymore right now. Then we can take palette knife and use it and put all of our colors on this. There's not a whole lot of this to use because I used up all of the red, all of the orange and yellow, most of the yellow. And then I have the extra pink I accidentally made that I don't need. And then we just slowly add to our paint sheet. If you haven't seen this, this is, I had some palette paper, which is basically a pad of paper that has paper on it that you can use like a palette, like a painting palette. And I just started painting on it and kept painting on it until it got to be, it's quite thick in the center. The edges are a bit thinner. And then at some point I peeled the paper off. So it's just slowly gotten built up. And every so often I cut the edges off because they're thin. I don't know when I'm gonna stop this project, but it's kind of this weird, this is just pure paint that is dried. And it's acrylic, so it's flexible. Anyway, that's that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that someday. It's kind of like Fordite. That needs to go over there. One giant peely, kind of. But the cool part is if someday when I cut it in half, you'll see all the color layers. That's the cool thing. That's what I'm looking forward to one day. So when they used to make cars, they would have the cars hang, like the pieces of the cars, the outside parts, hang on hooks, and then they would spray paint them with, what's it called? Car paint. It has a name. I'm not thinking of it right now. And over time, that stuff gets built up, like this does up here. And they cut it off, and then people were using it to make jewelry and stuff. And Fordite, Ford as in the car company, is one of the names people use for that thing, because it's kind of like a mix of a semi-precious stone and then Ford. But I've heard it called other things, but Fordite is the one I know it by. And then it's really cool because it has all of these lines of paints that have built up, kind of like tree rings, but different colors. And because they make cars differently now, or at least they paint cars differently now, there's not as much of it around. In case the dried paint and resin, cure it, use it as a palette. I think if that was the case, I would use a saw to slice thin slices of that so I could see the cross section. And that would be cool to encase in resin. Or at least put a piece of glass over it, but it would definitely mess with my color mixing. Mermaid Phoenicia says, hi from Belgium, hello. So So I'm washing all my flats out, all the paintbrushes I was using for that sky. A chaos painting. Yeah. It is slightly chaotic. I have 3 glass palettes. 2 are slightly off-white, and then the third one that I'm currently using is gray, because gray lets you see colors a bit more true. So I like to use it when I'm doing the base layers of paintings. But I prefer the off-white ones because I can see the color better. But not for everything, just for stuff other than sky. So our next step on this painting is to start the ocean color. And I don't know if you can see, there's like a dark line right along the horizon here. And then it goes kind of into a blue. So like that's our next step, but I want this to dry and I need to wash these brushes out. It's also warm in the house. I need some water too, and I have it right here, but I need to finish this first. Switch to cleaner water. Another thought I have with all the extra paint, like the stuff I just did, is keeping a canvas around to essentially start doing some sort of abstract e-painting with it, with whatever colors I have, and just like slowly work on it over the course of a year. Were you a comb? You were a comb. I thought you were flat. Oh well. It worked. So this was the palette as I was just painting with all these colors on it. Sorry, I got paint on one of my markers. There. So this was how it looked with all my colors. So I have my primaries over here with titanium white, and I had the blue and then the violet for the corners, and then I had everything else. So I was just using it to mix all those. And now that is all set, so that'll need to be cleaned off shortly. Brandon says it's the warmest room in the house in the summer. This room, correct. It's because it sits above the garage, and the garage is not climate controlled. This is the only bedroom in the house with a fan. I can see why they put a fan in here, but I can't run the fan, otherwise you guys will hear it. Like, our bedroom doesn't even have a fan. So as expected, and as I said earlier and predicted, this is way more saturated than this. Radiator says, it's fine, do it anyway. It is right above the mic, and it is very close to the lights. Brandon said, oh, they splurge? First time I've heard that kind of thing about that place. So I thought about that, Brandon. Someone made the choice to put a fan in this room over, like, the owner's suite room, the main bedroom. So they knew this room would get warm. And I know that it was not the last tenants because the glass domes on the fan are yellow. And I don't know why someone would buy this fan otherwise. So it had to have been done when the house was built. We have a 2-month resub from Haley92. Thank you. Anyway, I predicted this would be way more saturated than this was, and it is. But it is very pretty. I'm very happy with the colors. I did accidentally put orange paint here, and I still have a little bit of yellow. So we're just going to put another layer of titanium white over that. But I do need to blend it in because it's going to not have the paint texture, or the canvas texture otherwise. There. I just don't want the orange to influence it later, because orange is going to tone down this blue. And like, it should be a little bit, but I don't want it to influence it, so we're gonna cover it. Brandon says the builder knew. Yeah, they had to have. They had to have known. Man, I got a lot of paint on my hands from this painting. Vagabond says, color saturation, my beloved. Is that why you liked the fruit punch painting so much? Because that was very oversaturated. And I love it. There's a lot of paint on my hands. I mean, I like oversaturation. Sometimes I try to make sure I'm painting a little bit more realistically. I try. Like, I like bright colors too. Like, I adore this. This is gorgeous. I just, you know, you want to be able to do everything, not just paint one way. I should be painting muted sometimes because that practices that. But I just slowly move towards saturation all the time. Okay, this hand, nope, found some more. I do like the idea of doing a en plein air piece. Radio Dread says, if a sunrise sunset painting can make you squint at the brightness, you're doing it as realistic as possible. There's been a few where, like, it feels like it's glowing. Brandon says, the heart wants what it wants. If I want to paint saturated, I should. But I should also practice and be able to not do that. Okay, here's my thoughts. I need to draw a horizon line, and I don't want to put one down in tape like I did for the last one because I did that and it was too sharp. So then I had to soften that horizon line. So like, I want to put a piece of tape down for this. Because of the angle of the horizon, it's not level on purpose. But this is too wet. And also I went really long last night. Brandon says, I get it. You want to have a reason for saturation too. What does it add? I mean, there's definitely times you want to have saturation, like in this, because a sunrise sunset painting should be saturated. The painting I did of Mario Sunshine Island amusement park, that one, Pima Park, where it's like the wave and it's like off to the side here. That one is, that might be my most saturated painting. Corona Beach, yes. That might be my most saturated painting. I'd have to go back through everything and check. But that one is incredibly saturated. Serena Beach, that's it. With Pina Park in the back. Yes, that one is incredibly saturated and that is very fun. And bright colors are fun to look at. I think they make you happy. And there's a certain beauty about them, but there's also a certain beauty in muted colors and softness. So you gotta do both. I like doing both. I just tend to veer this way. Also because it's easier to do saturated colors when they come out of the tube saturated. So it's a skill, you gotta practice it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up here and we will work more on this Friday because this needs to dry. And I went late last night and I'm slightly tired. So thanks everyone for being here. Thank you to my Patreon supporters for supporting me and allowing me to do stuff like this. If you're interested in that, you can check out patreon.com/MalMakes. Brandon, I already took a nap. I need to go like bike or something. The Sumi A painting, which I should grab off the wall so you can see it. Let me grab that so I can show that off. I'll grab the other one while I'm at it. The one we finished last week. And try not to get paint on either of them. So this one, let's move that, and drop stuff on the floor. This guy will be up on I took 2 naps yesterday. Go ahead, there are no laws. But I could go bike. This painting will be on eBay, and merch will be on Redbubble sometime this week. Before Friday when I paint next. So I will definitely mention that on Friday, so you remember. Yeah, this piece will be up for auction, and there will be merch for it this week. So I will work on that probably tomorrow. And then this piece, which is, look, they're related. I'm not gonna put this one up until I'm done with all 3, because I want to see all 3 together and all 3 drawings together. For me, that's I'm making that choice because I want to choice. But these will be up for auction and merch, all 3 paintings, and I'm going to do that with the drawings too. I just figure out how I want to do the drawings because I cannot roll this. This will destroy it if I roll it. What I think I might do is I have some drawings that are definitely not things I'm going to sell, that I do not want, that are not very good. Like the one that got destroyed at some point because Steven slipped on the ice. And that's fine, I didn't love that drawing. It did not hurt me. But I might test it with that drawing to see if I can ship these rolled. My other thought is to buy cheap frames with mats so that the glass or plastic isn't touching the chalk, so they will come pre-framed. And then if the frame somehow gets damaged in shipping, it's not going to destroy the drawing, but like it'll also protect it. And if it survives, then you have a frame and it's framed. So I'm going to do some tests on that, but I do want to sell the drawings as well in case someone wants a chalk pastel drawing. It sounds like it hurt Steven more than it hurt you. Yes, and he felt terrible about it. So I don't love to bring it up, but like I'm really not bothered that the drawing got destroyed. Like, it's fine. I really don't care. It was one I didn't love. I didn't think I did very good on it. My professor loved it for some reason. Even now, looking back on it, I'm like, I don't love this. Why did he like it so much? Anyway. So yeah, the Sumier painting will be up this week sometime. Join me Friday for more painting at 11 a.m. on Friday. Good story to whoever the new owner is going to be. That one I'm not selling. That one's going to be my tester that I destroy more, essentially, for fun. Yes, and then... Brandon. Tomorrow Steven is streaming Super Metroid on his channel at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thursday will be breakfast stream, and then I will be back Friday at 1 for more painting. That's it. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a good afternoon. See you on Friday.